What's up? What's up? What's up? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to yet another live stream. And yeah, once again we have some YouTube drama to discuss. And I'm going to be real with you, I didn't know what channel to put this on because normally something like this I would put on the pop culture channel because it has to do with a prominent figure in pop culture, specifically in the culture of YouTube. But at the same time, this guy's also a gamer. His entire channel is centered around gaming. Of course, I'm talking about the completionist. I'm talking about the completionist, Jirard Khalil, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. And the controversy, the scam surrounding Jirard. And I have to say, this one, this should be a fairly short stream, in all honesty, because this story is rather straightforward. It's rather straightforward. There's not a ton to talk about here or to speculate about. It's really kind of an open and closed case as far as like what's going on, what needs to be done. However, there is a twist that I discovered just recently. Didn't really have a time to look up an article about it, but there is a twist to the story that kind of makes it even worse than what it already was. All right. So if you don't know who the completionist is, which I'd be surprised if you didn't know who the completionist was, the completionist, oh my God, wow, Gerard Khalil is one of the biggest YouTubers there is. He ran a channel that was focused on completing games 100%. It was all about trying to figure out, okay, what do you need to complete these games? What do you need to platinum these games to get a 100% completion rate on these games? And that was the primary focus of his channel, hence the completionist. Really great concept for a channel. Made some really good stuff. Watched him a ton. I've been subscribed to him for a very long time. I mean, I've been subscribed to this guy for years on various channels that I've had in the past. And he always came off as a nice guy. And I don't want to sit here and paint him as being this evil monster or just absolutely diabolical or anything like that. Like, I don't want to sit here and paint him with a broad brush because he can turn this around. He can fix this. So, what are we talking about exactly? Well, Gerard Khalil started up a charity. And let's actually go ahead and just jump into the article, shall we? So, YouTuber The Completionist Open Hand Foundation accused of keeping charitable donations. More than $600,000 had been raised. So, YouTubers Carl Jobst and Some Ordinary Gamer uploaded videos of their investigation to Gerard Khalil, better known as The Completionist, and his charity Open Hand Foundation. The pair alleged the Open Hand Foundation, which was founded by the completionist's father, Charles Khalil, in memory of his wife, Karen, and in which the YouTuber and his four siblings play an active role, according to its website, currently has more than 600,000 in donations untouched in a bank account and has no evidence of paying that money forward to organizations working against dementia. All right. This is really, this shouldn't even be a thing. This shouldn't even be a problem. This is really freaking simple. Just pay the money. Pay the money. All right. You're this big name YouTuber. You got all of these people you're following to donate all of this money to you, believing that it would go to help fight dementia, which, guys, dementia is an absolutely terrible freaking disease. It's horrible. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. My great grandmother had dementia. It's hard to talk about because I remember being a little kid seeing like what it did to her. Like she came up with all these crazy stories about what was going on. Like here I am, like what, 11, 12 years old or something. And my great grandmother thinks I'm already married, that I've got all this family drama with whoever this girl I'm married to is. It was wild. And to see someone lose their mind like that, to become a prisoner in their own mind, it's very scary. And I'm not gonna lie, if I ever got to the point where I started to develop dementia, I would pray to God to just go ahead and take me out. Just pull me out. I don't wanna deal with it. I don't wanna have to go through it. It's awful. It's terrible. Dementia dementia is like up there with cancer. It is one of the most cruelest diseases that there is. Absolutely terrible. So you have this guy, the completionist. Really good guy, or at least I thought. And he starts up this charity to fight against this horrible, awful, terrible disease. And it's like, okay, this is good. The man made it. He found success as a content creator. He hit the holy grail. He's probably making a crap ton of money with as many subscribers that he has. I think, excuse me, how many subscribers does he have? 1.63 million subscribers. Okay, 1.63 million subscribers. The dude is making bank. I can guarantee you he's making a very good living off of his content. Guarantee it. So he doesn't need the money. But he hits the golden goose. He he hits the jackpot. He becomes what a lot of content creators want to be. And so now he uses his fame to push this very good cause, which is to fight dementia. Awesome stuff. Great stuff. That's what I like to see. Giving back. Beautiful. But as we find out, during these streams that he did for this charity, he says the completionist has said during these streams, the money raised goes to organizations all over the world, such as the University of California, San Francisco, the Alzheimer's Association, and so many more. The Open Hand Foundation isn't listed as a partner or donor on the Alzheimer's Association website. And while the University of California, San Francisco doesn't keep a list of donors, nothing on its website suggests a connection to the Open Hand Foundation. According to Carl Jobs and some ordinary gamers, publicly available tax filings show the charity has raised 6,005 excuse me, $655,522 since its inception, has donated none of it, despite recording tens of thousands of dollars in administrative expenses, which we later found out these administrative expenses, this is the twist that came out recently, apparently added up to around $100,000. Only 4 years of tax filings were available. And attempted to verify these details on the United States Internal Revenue Service, which, by the way, if you have a charity, the tax filings are available publicly because normally when people donate to a charity, they want to make sure their money is actually going to the cause that they sent the money in for. So these years were 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2020. When asked for an explanation by Carl Joss, a completionist brother, Jacques Calais said the Open Hand Foundation was taking a vigilant approach to selecting who should receive the money and has been evaluating potential beneficiaries with our vision since its forming. While the Open Hand Foundation claims to have been operating since 2003, it was registered as a nonprofit organization in 2014. All right, so let's just take the 2014 date. So they've been raising this money for the last 10 years. So this money has been sitting in a bank account for 10 years. Now, look, benefit of a doubt, okay? Benefit of a doubt. I understand being careful with who you give your money to. That's a lot of money coming from a lot of people that really love this guy and are, want to fight this awful disease. So I can understand, all right, yes, we're going to give the money to charity, but who are we going to give it to? Which charities is it going to go to? How are we going to approach this? Because there's some, you got to be careful with who you send your money to. Because there's been charity scams in the past. There's been charities that have been a front for some, nefarious behavior. I can understand being very careful about who you're going to send the money to. I get that. So taking some time to pick the right charity before you donate the money, okay, fine, fair enough. But 10 years? A decade? A decade. And you haven't found the right charity in a decade? Really? Dead ass? That's ridiculous. This money has been sitting in a bank account for 10 years. It's not doing any good to fight dementia or Alzheimer's by sitting in a bank account. It's not. All right, so continuing on. Prior to our official registration as a foundation, we donated body parts for research and made financial contributions. What is it? What do you mean by body parts? Okay. Made financial contributions to an institution that, in our view, made insufficient progress in the fight against these debilitating conditions. The prior experience has taught us the importance of careful consideration in our partnerships and is the reason why we continue to search for a proper partner and recipient of our donations. Again, fair enough. I understand that. That's a damn good reason. But again, 10 years. You couldn't find anybody in 10 years? All right, let's just say you want to take a year to find the right organization. Do your research, fine. But 10 years? No. No. Continuing on. The Open Hand Foundation is therefore claiming it hasn't donated any of the raised funds because it has spent the past 9 years searching for a worthy partner to receive the money. This comes despite the completionist claims during Indieland streams that it had actively supported charities and, for example, is one of the main funding support partners of the University of California, San Francisco. As part of a larger response to Carl Joss, Jacques Khalid denied any wrongdoing. He said, quote, while we understand the necessity of due diligence and charitable engagements, the insinuation of wrongdoing on the part of the Open Hand Foundation is both unwarranted and unfounded. Not really. When we're talking when we're talking about 10 years, dude, that's more than a little fishy. And when you have $100,000 being taken out of this account for administrative costs, administrative expense, you are walking on very shaky ground. Continuing on, under quote, we conduct our operations within the bounds of legal and ethical standards, and any implication to the contrary is baseless. Our foundation has always acted in good faith, and we take any suggestion of impropriety very seriously. We stand firm in our record and integrity. First of all, they may have already broken the law. So I would go ahead and already say that this is unethical. But at the same time, I would also say there's probably also been some illegal activity done here because when you're claiming that your money is actively going to charity, actively supporting charities, you can write that off on your taxes. So if they've been claiming this, and let's say they have been writing it off on their taxes, that's charity fraud. That's tax fraud. And the IRS is coming for your ass. The IRS may be coming for your ass. I'm just saying. All right. Carl Joss and some ordinary gamer also provided audio of what they claim to be a call with the completionist himself. And this is a quote from that call. I knew the money was sitting there at a certain point, and that's what made me proactively go about it. The speaker allegedly, the completionist, said, I was made aware in 2021 that the money hadn't moved yet. And that's what made me go, that's not fucking cool. And that's when I got personally involved to move it. And not 2021, last year, 2022. The speaker added, I assumed that it was all going to charity, and I assumed incorrectly. Despite this, the completionist said again in a 2023 stream that the Open Hand Foundation was contributing to various organizations, which is after Carl Joss and some ordinary gamer alleged he knew otherwise. Okay. So let's just give him the benefit of a doubt. All right. Let's just say he didn't know this was going on. He thought the money was being moved. He thought the money was going to charities. Let's give the man the benefit of a doubt. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll give him the benefit of a doubt. That is very negligent, regardless. You are the face of this organization. You, the completionist, you're the public face of this organization. That is a lot of money, dude. That's a crap ton of money. If I was in your position, I would be making sure I knew where that money was at all times and what was being done with that money. The fact that he didn't is, at the very least, negligence, big negligence. So, and again, that's giving him the benefit of a doubt. So, what do I think about this? What do I think about this? And what do I think that Jared needs to do? Number one, giving him the benefit of a doubt. Maybe he was very negligent. Maybe he wasn't paying attention to what was going on. Maybe, he, again, negligence is like the word that keeps coming to mind. All right. That's very sloppy. Number two, probably illegal. Like, I think there's probably some kind of tax crime here, if I had to guess. And again, I'm no legal expert. I'm not a lawyer. All right. Taxes are as confusing for me as it is for the rest of America because our tax system is so royally fucked. But regardless, there's probably some illegality here on the tax side. I would assume charity fraud, tax fraud, maybe. Um, it's obviously very unethical, whether intentional or not. It's unethical. So am I going to sit here and say, "Oh, this guy's a monster. He's stealing. He's essentially stealing from his fan base. He's not giving to these charities, even though he claimed that he did. This guy's a scumbag. I bet he's buying Ferraris with that money." No, apparently most of it's untouched except for the administrative cost, whatever the hell that is. I'd like to know what that is. Um, but I don't think he's going out and buying Ferraris. I don't think he's going out and spending this money on himself. At least I hope not. We'll see. But it's not doing anyone any good just sitting in that bank account. So how does he solve this? He can come back from this very easily. He can come back from this. And what he needs to do is he needs to give the money to an organization that is fighting dementia and Alzheimer's. Just do it. You've had 10 years. Surely to God, you have found an organization worthy of this money at this point. So do some live stream and show people publicly, live, you sending the money to an organization to fight dementia and Alzheimer's. It's as simple as that. Apologize for the negligence. Apologize for not doing your due diligence with this. Apologize for that stuff and donate the money. A sincere apology, a promise to do better in the future, and donating the money to an organization fighting Alzheimer's and dementia. That's what you have to do. The money's sitting right there. Now do it. Complete your promises. You complete all of these games, now complete your promise. If he does that, and look, there's probably some people that, have their own theories, their own thoughts about Jirard and this whole situation that, they may think he's some kind of evil scumbag and they're not going to come back to his channel. But I think most reasonable people, if he apologizes, if he promises to do better, and he actually donates the money to an organization fighting dementia and Alzheimer's, I think most reasonable, logical people will come back and say, yeah, you know what? All right. All right. You redeemed yourself. Good job. Fantastic. Awesome. We're back on board. And he could do that today. Hell, it's the holiday season. What better time to actually donate the money than right now? He could solve this problem right now in the very short term. Just donate the money and apologize. Donate the money and apologize. And then we're right back on track. Now, this does bring up some implications for how YouTube's going to handle charities in the future, because there's a lot of YouTubers that do charities and stuff, charity streams. Um, I don't know. YouTube may start being a lot more strict on how charities work and charity funding works. We'll see. This could cause YouTube to change their policies on stuff like that, and maybe it does need to be changed going into 2024 and beyond. We'll see. Um, but right now, it's not a good look, and but it's something that he can come back from. It's something he can fix. It's something he can solve, and it's not that difficult to fix it. It's not that difficult to solve it. Just apologize, donate the money, promise to do better in the future, and we're back on track. It's really not that difficult. Now, the thing is, if he goes out there and he starts combating all these allegations, he starts fighting with people, starts getting into these arguments, he starts pulling an Eric July, being very arrogant, being very stuck up. It's not going to look good. It's going to ruin his image, and it's going to turn a lot of people off from him. Because people, here's the thing: people can forgive negligence. They can forgive mistakes. It's very difficult to forgive arrogance, stubbornness in the face of obvious evidence. You come off as delusional. You come off as thinking you're better than everybody else. It's just not a good look, and it's difficult for people to forgive. And in fact, on the Real Talk channel sometime this week, we are actually going to be talking, and that the link to that channel is down in the description box down below. But we're actually going to be talking about a situation with another organization and the leader of that organization and his fall from grace. If you don't know what I'm talking about Church Militant and why it's very hard to forgive the leader of Church Militant, who is Michael Voris. But that's going to be in a stream on the Real Talk channel. Again, link to the Real Talk channel is down in the description box down below. Go check it out. But I think, again, if Jared just comes out, apologizes, donates the money, and then promises to do better, I think people will forgive him. I think he can turn this around. I have seen people on this platform do way worse things than just be really stupid when it comes to, you know, actually keeping track of your own organization. So he can fix this. Now, am I going to unsubscribe from the completionist? No, not yet, anyways. Now, if he goes on this tirade of fighting against people and stuff, and he doesn't donate the money, and he's just very arrogant about it, that may change. But if he actually does what I said, apologize, 3-step process, apologize, donate the money to an organization fighting dementia and Alzheimer's, and then promise to do better. Those 3 things, he does those 3 things, I'm back on board. I'm good. All is forgiven, Jared. All is forgiven. Because right now, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a douchebag. I don't think he's the scum of the earth. I just think he's very negligent. And I think he's come off as incompetent when it comes to this situation. And those type of things are forgivable. But again, he has to do the 3-step process. Apologize. Donate the money. and then promise to do better. Those are the 3 steps, and I wanna see those 3 steps in relatively short order. And I think if he was smart, he would do it during the holiday season. From now until New Year's, he would take those 3 steps and donate the money. Because it's the time of giving, baby. And it's the time of forgiveness. And it's the time for him to fix this mess. And then we can go forward. All is forgiven. A new day is dawning for the completionists. So fix it. It's really simple. Donate the money and fix it. And I mean all the money, the whole 600, whatever it was, $1,000. I know you said there was like 100,000 in administrative costs, whatever the hell that means. I know you've got the money to make up for that. Donate $100,000 of your own money, add it back into that fund so you get back to the complete number that was donated to you originally, and then send that money off to an organization. And again, from an ethical standpoint, that would earn my forgiveness. That being said, from a legal standpoint, he still may have some issues because the IRS is probably not going to be as forgiving. And if he has taken money out of this charity fund for, again, I don't know what administrative expenses are in this case. Maybe it has something to do with the charity. Who knows? But if not, you can't take money out of a charity fund like that for your own expenses. That is definitely a crime. So Jared takes those 3 steps. Apologize, donate the money to an organization fighting dementia and Alzheimer's, and then promise to do better. I'll forgive him. I think the fans will forgive him. I think the community will forgive him. But the IRS may not be so forgiving. So there may be some issues there. He may have to resolve with the IRS. He may have to resolve in a legal manner. And as far as that goes, I don't know what advice to give him on that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal expert. But yeah, that's just kind of where we are. So that's my thoughts. Again, not a very long stream because this is a fairly straightforward story. It's fairly simple what is going on here, and it's fairly simple as to what the solution is. So, yeah, that's where we are. That's my thoughts on it. Jirard, Khalil, the completionist, you can fix this. You can earn back the support of people. You can earn back the support of your fans and your community. Very, very simple, and you can do it in a relatively short manner of time. Again, on the legal front, I don't know how that's going to turn out. That's between you and the IRS, my dude. And I don't know what to tell you on that. But as far as like your standing in the community and as a YouTuber, you can come back from this. But you got to take those 3 steps. You got to take those 3 steps. But give me your thoughts on this in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the completionist can come back to you from this? Do you think he can fix this? If he does what I said, which is apologize, donate the money to an organization fighting dementia and Alzheimer's, and promise to do better going forward. If he does those 3 things, will you forgive him? Let me know in the comments down below. All right. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to support the channel, you have the information down the bottom of your screen. It's also pinned in the live chat as well. Check me out on Patreon, PayPal, all that good stuff. Check out my other channels. I will be doing a live stream on the Real Talk channel later this week, talking about Michael Voris and his fall from church militant, which is going to be controversial, but it's something that I think is important to talk about. Anyways, that being said, give me your thoughts on this story. This is JeskerJames with a Z, and I am signing out.